Hi, I'm BJ, and this is the Arcane Alienist Podcast. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Arcane Alienist. Hope you're doing okay out there. We're back with a little more solo play for the Black Sword Hack. Before I get into that, I want to go ahead and plug the latest episode of Cerebrivore. I'll put a link on the show description. We're talking about Star Wars, so we got a little over an hour long discussion with me and Carl Rodriguez of the Geomologist and Arlen Walker from Lives from Pelham's Wasteland, where we talk about somewhat about just Star Wars stuff in general, trying to also talk about Star Wars and role playing games, as licensed Star Wars role playing games, other role playing games have been inspired by Star Wars. But anyway, check that out if you haven't already. Again, I'll put a link in the show description. So check that out. So with the Black Sword Hack, I have been playing off and on. Just it's interesting how I can do this. I have a die roller app on my phone and usually access to Google Docs, so I just kind of when I have a few minutes, just sort of play, and could roll the dice with the Oracle or with my character's abilities, um, and the story kind of unfolds. So I want to get into that now. We've kind of covered the character creation. We've covered kind of some world building. So I want to get into a little bit of the actual solo play I've been doing. I've completed a first adventure for Dolan, the character. Again, it's very interesting for you to try to do this with a character who's not the typical pulp sword and sorcerer hero. He's not only not strong, he's not deck. He's kind of clumsy, and not particularly tough. But he is intelligent and charismatic. So we'll see how it goes, or you'll see how it goes. I know what's going to happen. This is not me rolling the dice live. This is me. I kept track of what answers I got from the Oracle, which gives you remember it gives you a not only yes and no, but it's hell yes, 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 but no, and hell no. Those are the 1 to 6 or 6 to 1 anyway. Um, but I thought I'd try to do this in chunks so we still keep these episodes manageable. So we'll see how far we can get in a reasonable amount of time with me going through my notes of what happened. So the prologue that we came up with is: you wake on a beach. This is out of the book. The image of your brother pushing you off a cliff, still vivid in your mind. So remember, Dolan has a barbarian origin. He's from this um, uh, Pict-like culture, and I've pulled in a little bit of maybe a little bit of Viking influence as well. Uh, but it'll we'll fill it. It's interesting to have to fill in the names once I went back, not so much in the play, but when I went back and tried to kind of write it in a narrative, it filled in some gaps there, which you'll see when I do the narrative part of this later on. But so it's day one of the adventure. You wake on a beach, the image of your brother pushing you off a cliff still vivid in your mind. Okay, so I start off with the Oracle. Do I know where I am? Yes. Did I come here on purpose? Yes, but. So I came here, but not because I wanted to. All right, so we've established that. The image of my brother in my head, is that a memory? It says, hell no, that's not a memory. So I conclude it must be a dream. So I wake from this dream of something that didn't actually happen. Is it a recurring dream? Yes, but. Well, what is that but? I wasn't really sure how to answer that. Is it always my brother? No, but. Is it always being pushed off a cliff? Yes. Is it always someone? If it's not always my brother, is it always someone I love? And I get the 6. Hell yes. So I conclude this character has a recurring nightmare of a loved one pushing him off a cliff. Have I ever actually fallen from a significant height? Yes, but. So that tells me I wasn't pushed. I just fell. Uh, am I afraid of heights? No, but. So I'm not really afraid of heights, but also I'm going to say they do make Dolan uncomfortable enough that he's going to avoid them if he can. So that'll be kind of a quirk of this character's personality. My brother's still alive. No, but. So I conclude he must have died recently. I've come to see to his my remains, and then what's my brother's name? I rolled on a random list of names. Latham. So my brother Latham has died, and I've come to see to his remains. This was not a planned trip. Was I washed ashore? No. I wake up on a beach and I haven't been washed ashore, so the first thing I have to ask is, am I waking up with a hangover? Yes. Did I get drunk on a ship? No, but this is the role I got. So I think I started drinking as soon as I made port. So what's coming to my mind is he sailed into port to see his brother has passed away, and he was probably drinking, uh, not on the ship, but as soon as he got there, the first thing is, he's upset. He's already grieving for his brother. He goes and starts drinking. Where did I sail from? And I kind of rolled on the map and got the Forbidden City result. So I journeyed there, but I just say, well, let's say he went there. It's a Forbidden City, though. He was denied entry. Is it odd to have been denied entry? The roll of six, hell yes. So I must have had some sort of credentials that would grant me entry, but was turned away nonetheless. Am I near my destination or my home base? Yes, but. So what would that but be? Okay, I'm not expected back so early. I must have. How did I get here faster? Okay, I was traveling to the Forbidden City for some official purpose, uh, and I hopped a different ship to get here faster because there was word waiting for me that my brother had died when I made it back to port. So I must be traveling with people who know me and part of an organization. Um, my brother's died. Do I have any reason to think my brother was murdered? Hell no. So I asked the Oracle, well, just because the character doesn't know that, was he actually was he murdered? Hell yes. So here we're going to be this story of this character figuring out that his brother didn't just die, that this was some kind of foul play has been involved. Did he have any kind of condition that would make natural death possible? No, but I'm thinking so. He wasn't in poor health. He wasn't diseased. The death must be attributed to some sort of illness, even if that's not the actual cause. Do we have any other family? No. So this gives me an idea for this character's a little more about the character. Dolan was born on an island just as a rival clan was raiding his home. That was part of the from the book, his part of his origin. Uh, here's the story I tell to explain what we've got so far. He and his older brother Latham, who's 4 years old when he was born, are taken as thralls, and they were freed once Dolan reached the age of 16. So, don't having no family, they wandered into the merchant lands of the Merchant League and fell into the employ of a merchant house. And I kind of rolling on again on a random uh, sort of tables. It comes with House Fulyondo. So that was I think I was rolling a name of Basque name. So we're looking at something that's sort of a you know Southern Europe kind of a flair for the Merchant League versus the kind of uh, very much Northern Europe homeland styled homeland of Dolan and his brother. Latham was a natural warrior, so he was hired on as a house guard, but he insisted that they find work for Dolan, who's his scrawny little brother, and he was assigned to the kitchens until one of the nobles really recognized his intelligence and his charisma, and that he could potentially work as a courier. So he's become a messenger for the house. Uh, it makes sense then that Latham wasn't able to accompany Dolan on this mission, so his death has been attributed to an illness. Uh, why was he not able to come? And I rolled another one of the tables in there, a D66 table that gives you just a theme for an event. And it comes up help and ruins. He was not able to come because it has something to do with help and something to do with ruins. So I say that the merchant house acquired a property in an older part of the city, and the guards that are assigned to run out the squatters and sort of watch over it in preparations for its renovation. Um, this implies the city has some ruins or abandoned areas that can be, uh, you know, there must be slums and abandoned warehouses and things like that. So they purchased this property and we're going to renovate it. Uh, so word was waiting when I returned to the ship that my brother had died of an illness. The ship had other business to attend to. It is a merchant ship for a merchant house. Maybe they had cargo they were still waiting to take on. Um, and since no one was expecting me, I headed. I jumped. I managed to get onto another ship, and since no one was expecting me this early, I headed straight to a tavern to drink and settle my nerves, and then I wind up overindulging, and that's the last thing I remember. Now I'm waking up hungover on the beach as the sun rises. Was I woken by dangers? Hell yes. So I think someone's probably trying to rob Dolan. Is this a male or female person? Female. Is it a child, adolescent, or adult? I rolled a. I like I roll a d6. 1 to 3 male, 4 to 6 female, child, adolescent, adult. I think I rolled a d6, 1 to 2 child, uh, 3 or 4 adolescent, 5, 6 adult. And I rolled an adolescent. So this adolescent girl is trying to rob me as I'm passed out. And I noticed that, remember, I'm an herbalist. Do I have any healing balms? No. Do I have any hallucinogens? No. Do I have any poison? So I don't have any of my concoctions on me. I roll initiative 19, which means I go last. However, I invoke my diplomat ability to go first if all I'm going to do is talk. So I try to talk to the pickpocket into stopping what she's doing. Charisma test 14, it's a failure. So she still attempts to snatch whatever she was about to try to get away from me. I use a parry defense to try to knock her hand away. Roll a 3, succeed. Push myself back away and repeat the charisma test. At that time, I got a 10, which is a success. So she pauses to hear me out. So some questions for the Oracle. Is this an actual criminal? I get a hell yes. So there must be some clear sign this is a criminal. And I noticed that they have Thieves Guild markings. Uh, you know, I don't want trouble with the Thieves Guild. So would my status as a courier of a merchant house provide any protection? And I get an answer of no, but. So that makes me think no inherent protection, but it's enough to would be enough to make this thief think twice. So I'd say, look, hey, our employers they don't want trouble with each other. I'll give you half of what's in my my coin purse, and we'll just go our separate ways. Roll charisma 1. That's a critical success. So I just said, you know, that she'll accept. I was going to roll 1d3 coins, where I was going to roll 1d4 coins, and I thought, I think I've come to prefer 1d3 plus 1 over 1d4, particularly when I don't. I think a roll of 1 doesn't make sense. So um, uh, I treat that critical charisma success on the charisma 1 as she's gonna whatever I tell her's in my purse, she's gonna believe it. So I could have 30 gold and say, hey, all I got is 2, 3. So I roll that she'll accept 1d3 plus 1 coins. I get a 2, so I say, hey, I've only got 4 coins left. I'll give you half of them. I just got into town. I drank all my money away. So that leaves me with 12 coins. I had 14, so I still have 12. And as you'll see when I flash ahead to the narration, when I went back to sort of write this, I thought, well, saying coins is going to be kind of. I did a little world building. I said, well, let's say that the standard here are silver coins, and just to give it sort of just to not say silver, um, the coin of the Merchant League is the standard is a silver argent. So I have 12 silver argents left. So what are some of the other implications around this? The Thieves Guild has a unique relationship with the merchant houses, I think. They're tolerated within the limits because the merchants, I think, acknowledge that there's always going to be thieves. There's just a certain amount of loss we're going to take. So a little bit there. Why would merchants even tolerate that much? It's because they also hire the thieves to do an assassinations, espionage, to recover or steal valuable items from one another. So they sort of all tolerate the existence of the thieves guild as long as it stays within a certain uh, boundary. Um, so what happens when I get to House Foyando? I think we'll stop there because I want to read the narrative version of this that I've put into a narrative story, and that should probably put this episode at right about the amount of time. So let me read through that, and then we'll wrap up the episode. Dolan awoke, the last images of the dream still vivid. He'd been falling from the cliff, pushed by his brother. But that never happened, at least not that way. As a boy, he had fallen. That much was true, but due to his own clumsiness. His brother had not pushed him. There'd been no one there at all. The memory came to him as a dream often, whenever he was distressed. There was always the falling, but the cause changed depending on whatever was weighing on his mind. Now he was awake, lying in the sand, his head pounding and the sun too bright to open his eyes. His mouth was sour and sticky from the remnants of last night's wine. Normally, he woke when he hit the ground in his dream, but this time he was mid-fall. What had woken him? He was acutely aware of someone else and a tug at his belt. He was being robbed. Dolan sat up, forcing his eyes open. Pickpocket crouched over him, rocked back slightly. Not being much of a fighter and hung over to boot, Dolan raised his hand in a placating manner while he rested his other subtly on his staff in the sand at his side. "Hold on, friend. I had a rough night. You keep that up and you're as apt to be covered in vomit as you are to walk away with any coin." As his eyes adjusted to the light of day, Dolan took a better look at the person before him. Small of frame, plainly clothed, with a cloak wrapped over one shoulder. The kerchief that should have masked her face had slipped down around her neck. This girl couldn't have been over 16 years old. He caught a glimpse of a tattoo below her right ear that marked her as a member of the Thieves' Guild. She lunged at him again, reaching for the purse at his belt. Dolan slapped her hand away and pushed himself to his feet. "Look, I am a courier of House Foyando. I don't want any trouble with your guild. But I suspect your guild doesn't want any trouble with one of the great merchant houses either." The girl flinched, obviously surprised that Dolan had deduced her affiliation with the guild. His reasoning was sound. Although they would never admit it publicly, the great houses tolerated the existence of the Thieves' Guild, even encouraged it. The guild could be hired for espionage, heists, even assassinations, commercially or politically. "Why don't I just give you half of what's in my purse, and we can go our separate ways without any further violence?" Dolan lifted his purse and looked inside. "That depends on how much you have," the girl replied. "Look, I spent most of what I had on carousing last night. I only have a few silver argents left." That was a lie. He had 14. But she seemed to believe him. The girl nodded, and Dolan removed 2 coins and extended his hand. The girl just stared. With a small laugh, Dolan tossed the coins in the sand at her feet. The girl snatched them up and darted up the beach to the boardwalk. Dolan looked around and located his wooden staff laying nearby. Searching himself, he found nothing else missing. He glanced out at the water and the ships moored there, and then back to the port city of Exarch. He was home. It was time to see his brother. Well, and there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. I put a little music in there. Look at the show description for the credits of that. And until next time, wherever you're out there, take care of yourself and make someone happy today. Thanks for listening to the Arcane Alienist podcast. The music you're hearing is Come and Get It by Scott Holmes Music. The cover art is by Dave Bone. Be sure to check out his stuff at ironseer.com. You can leave me a message. I have my SpeakPipe account linked to the show description. You can also send me an email at arcane.alienist@gmail.com. Just embed a voice memo, or I'll just read the text to your email during a future episode. Once again, thanks so much for listening.